So here's a bit more about Girl Take the Lead podcast and how we came to this point. I retired in September of 2021, and I had been in corporate life for 42 years, and I wondered what my retirement would look like. And didn't want it to look like my father's, didn't want it to look like anybody else's, and I wasn't quite sure. And I thought, I'm going to learn a bit more about social media because as a marketing executive, I had done a fair amount, but not so much about personal branding, which is what podcasts really are about. So I took a class from Kathy Heller and really, really grateful to that class because I thought I was just going to observe and learn, but I ended up finding a passion of my own around women and leadership and realized it had been a core throughout my life, and I wanted to bring it forward. Plus, I had two daughters, one a millennial, one a Gen Z, who you'll meet in the episodes. And I thought, oh boy, it sure would be good to pass along all the learning I had, and hopefully they can make their own learning, but certainly not step in the same places as I did. So I wanted to bring some of that forward for them and for any women the listeners may know and love who could benefit from seeing themselves perhaps in my stories or their daughters or women they know in my own daughters. So you'll hear their voices, and I hope that you smile and laugh the way that I do, and just treasure hearing the sound of their voices and the points they make as much as I do. Our promise in each of our episodes is to be thoughtful and provocative in the questions we'll bring forward, like, can't we just dump performance appraisals? Or Marilyn Monroe, would we consider her a leader today? So those questions, along with the basic foundation of how we define leadership, is what guides our episodes. So here's a definition of leadership that was written in a book by a person I know, Juliana Hayes, PhD, called Leading on Purpose. And here's what she wrote. Being a leader is not about a title, although plenty of people make it out to be. Leadership is a way of being. It is also about how you carry yourself, the mindset you have, your character, and how you choose to treat others in order to get results. I thought that was really captured a definition that we're using as we develop our podcasts. We also promise in each of our episodes that if there's anything that we think could trigger somebody, like a trauma and based on a story that maybe one of us is telling you about, we'll call it out for you so that you know it's coming up and you can skip that part of it. Our format will change week to week. Sometimes we will review a book that we've read and bring some of the gems that relate to leadership forward so we can save you the time from having to read the book. We can also interview an expert in an area, for example, humor and leadership. And then, too, we'll bring forward our firsthand accounts of some of our own stories as well as other stories we know, like Betty White, for example. So we'll be discussing these kinds of topics in a variety of formats. So please subscribe to our podcast and make comments. We'd love to hear them. Also, join us at our Facebook group, Girl Take the Lead, and let us know any future topics that you think would be great for us to cover. So thank you for listening to this episode and for any of the future ones you may listen to. I'd love to end on this quote that I thought was really very good, that kind of captures, I think, where a lot of us are. I sat down with the universe and told her I wanted to grow. I told her to use me as a vessel. So she made me uncomfortable. She stripped me of everything I knew, made me learn how to be silent, how to let go, how to move on, how to stand my ground, how to be more understanding, how to fight, how to survive, how to be more assertive, more loving, less naive. She told me to take everything I have learned and share it with others. Thank you again, and hope to hear from you.